Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, you are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where three friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents.
Oh my God, who are you?
Oh, I'm Scott.
Oh, the fourth gal joins us.
The fourth gal.
I gotta say, you have the best Minnesotan accent of any of our guests.
Yeah, it's like you're a natural or something.
It's almost like I was born here.
Barn and raised.
Barn, raised.
What were you, raised in a barn? No, I was barn here.
Barn and a raise.
I too was born in Minnesota, and I'm Lucy.
Oh my gosh, I was not born in Minnesota, and I'm Amanda.
We will hold it against you.
And you do. Consistently. She was moving anyway. You monster.
Where's the lie?
Where the lie? Ooh, now it works. Okay, great.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that we have the fourth gal, Scott, on today for this episode.
It's the best. It's the best.
I'm so glad to finally be doing this. And
Bill's here too.
if Bill isn't carrying
Get out,
fast
Bill.
food, I will be upset.
Bill, did you bring us dinner that I didn't text you and ask you for?
Where's my bucket of chicken?
Go back out. Go back out and get us Taco Bell.
We'll get
All
to
right,
the chicken.
Oh, God, no. I don't want to get to the chicken.
Well,
I'm still-
actually, on that note, today we have a very, very special fan pick by Stephanie Evans, who wants to dedicate this episode to their gateway gal, Kelly. And Stephanie has
Kelly.
so 80s. Stephanie and Kelly.
Oh,
You were born in the 80s.
yeah.
And Stephanie wants to Stephanie's fan pick is fast food crimes.
Oh, my God. So we've been traumatized by chicken nugget crimes.
I was
Now-
going to say, I still think about chicken nugget crimes on a
Every
regular
day.
basis. And I
Pink
still
sludge.
eat chicken nuggets, though.
Oh, me too. I had chicken
yeah.
nuggets like 2 days ago.
I'm not giving up.
No.
It's just
I
something
just will be
knew I have to
traumatized
work
every time I
through.
have them.
Yeah, I think I just took like 4 days off from eating chicken nuggets and then jumped right back in.
Yep.
I took a sabbatical, a very brief sabbatical.
Like, it's better now that I know, actually.
Honestly, I'm more informed. I'm an informed
Thank you.
consumer.
Mhm.
You took a nug-batical.
No sabbatical. The accuracy, though.
So we had to ask Scott to co-host for this episode because we have a shared appreciation for fast
Deep.
food.
It's deep. And, Scott is usually our purse burger or chicken chalupa supreme delivery person.
Mm-hmm.
So it just felt the most fitting
Yeah.
to have you here.
I'm an actual expert in this arena.
You are. And I just found a really gross hair on my glass.
Ooh.
I'm fine.
Cute.
We're
Oh
good.
my.
Don't look too closely at your cup.
Scott,
Anyway.
Scott, you mentioned an abject tragedy that happened in your neighborhood recently. Tell us about it.
Speaking of fast food crimes.
Mhm.
Oh, I was like, what abject tragedy?
We got
There's
you.
Actual real abject tragedies
Yeah.
in my neighborhood constantly. It is that the McDonald's. So I bought a condo and I was like, one of the best parts is nary a few blocks from McDonald's.
Like a block.
Like the McDonald's down the street is just far enough that I feel okay about getting into my car and going to the drive-thru.
Got it.
I could walk, but I won't.
Yep. Why would you? At what
Now
cost?
I don't even
won't.
have the choice to do either because it's closed.
Yeah.
It's
Are they
closed.
remodeling?
It's for remodeling.
Okay,
But you
so
know what?
she'll be back.
I mean, I've been promised and heartbroken before, so
She is one of the last McD's in the Twin Cities
I
that has
know.
not gotten that like mega upgrade.
yeah. Well,
Maybe
why
they're getting
need
a
it?
play
It's always
place.
so busy. I don't know why they would upgrade it.
I think it's a corporate thing. I think they're making it has to be cohesive.
They're like
consistent.
the rats that live in the basement need to have. It's part of their union contract. now.
Correct.
They have to have better digs.
The rat union is extremely powerful.
The rat lobby.
The rat lobby.
Big rat.
Big rat.
Oh my God.
big rat.
Well, there it is. Anyway, so I am very sad because I frequently wake up. I'm like, you know what? I really just want a McDonald's breakfast sandwich. That's really the only thing I really crave from McDonald's these days. And it's like now I have to drive many blocks to get one, and that's just too far.
Well, I have an abject tragedy that's not related to fast food, but I thought I should bring it up. If you fall,
I'm here for you.
Thank you. But I mean, wait until you hear this, and then maybe you won't be here for me anymore.
Okay.
I have been candid about a saga on TikTok, and I know that neither of you are like huge TikTokers.
The vagina thing.
I think I saw this.
Yes. So
We all saw it. I didn't even ask you.
Well, for people who are listening who do not know,
Amanda has a vagina.
I do have a vagina, and I tried this TikTok trend this hack that I saw on TikTok where you can get fake nails, and then you use like a gel coat and a UV light to adhere the nail to your finger. So I made a little video about how I put on these nails, and I was like super excited about it. Then somebody was like, oh my gosh, you should come back with an update about how long they last. And I was like, I will do that. And then the next day, I went to take out my menstrual cup, and I took the cup out and I rinsed it, and I, went to put the cup back in and noticed that my nail that I used to take out the cup was gone. No longer on my, this is a new set, baby. New set. So I panicked momentarily, looked in the toilet bowl, couldn't see anything, but the toilet bowl ran red with the blood of my menstruation. So even if it was in the toilet bowl, I probably wouldn't have been able to see it. So I was like, I don't think it's in there. It's probably fine. I got shit to do. Put the cup back in, whatever. Next day, I haven't stopped thinking about it. I pulled the cup out, still no nail. I figured if the nail was in there, the suction of the removal of the cup might have taken it out.
In your
canal.
Vagina.
In your canal.
Yeah,
Okay,
honey.
yeah.
I
I just suddenly struggled with anatomy.
Yeah.
Remember that one time we looked at female anatomy and we're like, wait, what?
What? That's in me?
Yeah.
How does that work? Anyway, somewhere in my anatomy potentially is a fake nail. But I have come to the conclusion.
But it's still adhered, maybe.
No, she's loose.
Does the gel work? What if you UV lighted down there?
Oh my God, I won't be doing that.
I'm here to help you.
No, thank you.
It's like a vagina dentata situation, but with nails.
It's a vagina nail tata. Mm-hmm. But I did take a bath last night, and I digitally researched, and I came up empty-handed. So I think we're safe.
So you've lost all the rest of your nails inside.
All of my nails are.
Empty-handed.
I did have that moment where I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna lose another fucking."
The remaining
nail in there.
four were
but
gone.
these are still on. So anyway, that's my cup date for
Great.
Love
everyone.
it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you.
Cheers. Should we drink now?
I know that.
Yeah, let's drink now and also just get back to the fast food because
Right.
that had nothing to do with.
I know.
But it had everything to do with it if you really think
and
about
everything.
it.
Yeah, you eat with your hands.
Yeah,
Make that connection.
if we dig, pardon the pun, but if we dig far enough, we'll find a meaning.
Ew.
And
You might find it if you dig deep enough.
Amanda, please, for the love of God, what's our wine crime pairing? For fast food crimes?
So our fan picker recommended a beverage that I didn't get. I don't know what it was.
she's too busy with her nail.
I was busy trying to figure out if there was a nail in my vagina. So that's how I'm linking this. I was too stressed. But I wanted to celebrate Scott being here.
Yes.
And I did get some sparkling Prosecco Rosé in my Winc box.
Yummers.
I'm so thirsty.
So we're going to pop this open. This is Winc's Pizzaloto Fields Prosecco Frizzante Rosé.
Pizza Fields is what I heard.
Fields. Yep. And
Pizza Fields forever.
Pizza Fields forever. She's beautiful. She's medium bodied. She's 11% ABV, so on the lighter side. Mm-hmm. She's gonna have tasting notes of peach rings, pear, literally
Scott's
peach
favorite.
rings.
I do love peach rings.
Scott loves peach rings. A little bit of pineapple. It's got kind of a floral nose. I mean, it's so good. Who doesn't love Prosecco? There's also that TikTok thing that's what's a drink of choice? Oh, a Negroni. spagliato with prosecco in it. It's on lesbian TikTok. You're clearly not on lesbian TikTok. Anyway,
Not a regular
from
TikTok.
it's from House of the Dragon side. It's the actor who plays older Rhaenyra.
got it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I am very, very excited about it. And it's also only 4 grams of carbs per serving.
Good, because I
I
already
know.
wasn't going to take insulin for it.
Absolutely not. Why would we?
Oh my god, the diabetics have joined
good.
forces.
Yeah. Diabetics
fine.
have entered the chat.
Bill's here and will catch us when we pass out.
Bill is here and has caught me when I've passed out. So,
that's love.
Scott was also very wise to point out that this beautiful bottle pairs well with shellfish, sushi, fruits, and fries.
Fries.
Like
Fries.
from
Fries.
fast food
Exactly.
restaurants.
There
Does it
is,
say
the
that on the
connection.
bottle?
It,
It does.
literally
It doesn't say it on the bottle, but it says it in the Winc.
fruits and fries. I thought it said fruit flies at
Fruit
first.
flies pairs great with fruit flies.
flies.
It says it on the Winc website. And if you are not already loving Winc, you should check them out. They're an online wine club that delivers wine directly to your door. And you can get $20 off your first box if you head to trywinc.com/gals. That's TRYWINC.com/gals. Scott, would you like to hold my mic while I try to open this without killing you?
Sure.
Love it.
Protect your
I
good
love-
eye.
Oh, God. I have neither good eye.
Well, then just let her rip.
I have such anxiety about opening a sparkling wine. It
why
gives.
you point it right
Yeah,
at
no, I'm fully afraid right now.
Really?
Give me some Xanax. Well, yeah, I just feel like this is. I have that like fear of like dying in bizarre ways. This is one of those ways that I'm pretty sure I would die.
I
Yeah.
love it. All right, point this kind of right here, and I'm gonna.
Right into my eye.
It's not in your eye. Okay, ready? I'm not gonna hit you with it.
Oh, God.
I'm not Ken.
Nice
It's a nice pop.
Near you. Fucking
That was
relax.
terrifying. It kind of hurts. I'm like Nathan Lane from The Birdcage.
You are.
Yeah.
All right, hand me your glass, and I'll pour you a little.
Oh, okay.
One must have a hint of color.
Hint of color.
Oh, yeah.
Agador Spartacus.
Agador.
Bill's our Agador Spartacus.
He is.
I love that you guys are drinking out of your Smurf glasses.
I know. All of my. I clearly need to register
smells so
for
good.
wine glasses, obviously.
No, you don't.
I
Because
mean,
in my experience, you get wine glasses, you break them.
I know. I've broken all of my wine glasses.
Like that's what they're meant for. That's what it's the wine glass lobby.
It is.
Keeping
Big
us.
wine.
Big wine.
Big glass.
Big glass. I'll just
Big
leave that here
Riddle.
for when we need to top
Are you
off.
drinking something, Lucy?
Cheers.
I'm currently drinking ice water because I had 3 drinks before we started with my lovely friend
Nice.
Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Ooh, hi, Ben.
We love Ben.
We really do.
Ben's all right.
I love it. Fuck you, Ben.
Goodwill. Like, that's like dream life.
That is the dream life.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the dream life, Lucy, do you want to give us our background insight on fast food crimes?
I sure fucking do. And yes, I do have psych.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
So, fast food is a type of mass produced food designed for commercial resale with a strong priority placed on speed of service.
I don't like resale. I like to imagine it's made fresh.
I like a pre-sale.
Nobody's slaughtering cows
I
out
know.
back of McDonald's.
Okay.
Well, maybe
At
they
least
will
not
have the
legally.
new remodeled one next
Oh my
to
god,
me.
what if they put a
They have a
slaughterhouse?
stockyard.
It's farm to table. It's
God,
Minneapolis'
ick.
first farm to table McDonald's.
It's just the most bloody,
parking lot,
grotesque,
farmed
violent.
pink slime.
Oh god.
I would still
mean,
eat there though.
Yes, of
I
course.
couldn't stop myself. Chicken nuggies.
I mean,
How
let's
could
be
I
honest
not?
with ourselves. Chicken
It would,
nuggets.
it would smell so bad.
Like it doesn't already.
You'd have to have a beef slaughterhouse, a fishery, and like a chicken coop.
And pigsty.
And
Pig
if
pen.
it's McRib era, like that's a
Oh,
Shamrock
yeah,
Shake.
McRib.
Oh my god, the slaughtering of the shamrocks.
All those leprechauns. There's green blood everywhere.
Oh, gross.
I would still eat it.
Hate
I
it.
would.
I hate
Absolutely.
it. I love
Yes,
it and I hate it.
Mm.
All right, continue.
So fast food is a commercial term limited to food sold in a restaurant or store with frozen, preheated, or pre-cooked ingredients and served in packaging for takeout or takeaway.
Okay.
Fast food was created as a commercial strategy to accommodate large numbers of busy commuters, travelers, and wage workers.
Ooh.
In 2018, the fast food industry was worth an estimated $570 billion globally.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
That's like an amount of money that I could never even picture and somehow seems low considering
I know. I'm thinking that
Yeah.
too.
The
Like, how does
expanse
that compare to other things?
of
Can you do
fast
some
food.
quick research right
I
now
mean-
and find out?
Right now, as we record, the Powerball jackpot is at $1.5 billion.
Bill bought Powerball tickets for the first time probably ever.
So did
we
I.
have you did?
Oh.
I have
Oh.
4. We're splitting it among some other people. Probably should put that in writing before Saturday, but
Meh.
whatever.
Yeah, we did the same. Bill did the same thing. He got like 3 or 4 of them. He has another friend who got a couple.
Ooh, I can't wait for this to ruin your relationship
Oh yeah,
when you win.
Well,
absolutely.
someone-
Because
You're like-
it'll be his ticket, and he won't let me
Exactly.
have anything.
I'm taking the lotto ticket.
I'm taking the
dumbass.
dog.
dumbass. I was talking to somebody about like, oh, it's $1.5 billion. And they were like, yeah, but like how much do they take out for taxes? And I'm
Who
like,
cares?
it's $1.50 ticket. If
Yeah.
I walked away with $5, I'm not
I'd
complaining.
be happy. Right,
Like-
right. They
Yeah,
take
you might
out
have-
plenty in taxes, but you're left with enough to never work again.
Like
maybe you can't take.
generations.
Maybe you can't take like the Amazon penis rocket to space, but like, sorry, you're gonna miss out on that one life experience.
There will be other penis rockets.
yes,
Yeah.
just take the Earthbound penis rocket.
Yuck. Oh my God. Yuck.
Anyway,
It's been a minute. I'm excited about that.
A Gallup survey showed 80% of Americans eat at fast food chains at least once a month, which
and
also
that 20%
seems
were lying or babies.
low. Babies.
20% are babies and can't chew.
Mhm. Of course, restaurants have been around in some form since humans have lived in like developed societies, but it wasn't until the development of the U.S. highway system in the 1950s and 60s that fast food gained a foothold in American culture.
Got it. Makes sense.
Technically, White Castle was the first fast food restaurant founded in 1921 in Wichita, Kansas.
Oh my God. Is that why they use steam?
Maybe.
I don't know.
it
I'm just
might
making that up. It's
be.
from the steam engines that they took across the country.
I hate
Yeah,
you.
sure.
The
why not?
Transcontinental Railroad was the very first White Castle.
They
Yes,
just dropped
okay.
off steam on the way, and that cooked the burgers.
This is
This
a
is
really
spot
great
on.
idea.
Yeah, spot on.
I am a historian.
Yep.
An historian.
An historian.
And historian. At the time, most people considered the burgers sold at fairs, circuses, lunch counters, and carts to be low quality. Like burgers were just like, ugh, burgers. Many people thought hamburger came from slaughterhouse scraps and spoiled meat.
Fine with me.
But White
It's
Castle's
delicious.
well, White Castle's founders decided to change the public's perception of hamburgers. They built their restaurants so that customers could see the food being prepared. People,
So like open kitchen.
yeah, people love
An
to
open
watch.
concept.
They love to watch the assembly line style cooking, down to the griddle being packed with square buns and patties. So it's highly efficient.
I've never been to a White Castle. Is it still open concept now? Because that's kind of bold.
I don't
Is it
know
avocado
that it
based?
is.
Okay.
I don't think it is. But the fact that their burgers are square and their buns are square make the cooking way more efficient.
I get
So-
it, but I don't like it.
Well, even
It freaks
just
me out.
At the time, people were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm seeing the beef. It doesn't look spoiled. We're
Mhm.
being highly efficient. I'm getting my food in like under a couple minutes."
Yep.
So this just changed the public perception of burgers specifically.
That's
And
cool.
also just ushered in fast food because most fast
new
food is
era.
like kind of centered around burgers.
Mhm.
When did chicken rings come in?
Oh,
chicken rings.
That's
Oh,
the only
yeah.
thing that I'll actually get at White Castle.
That's like a White
It's
Castle
the thing that will give me the littlest amount of diarrhea.
I think I've
I-
only been to a White Castle once in my life.
I've never been to a White Castle.
There was one by my old apartment when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
So
There was one
I'd
near
gone
my
through
old
the
place in
drive-thru.
Northeast on Central.
Oh, that's the one that I was talking about.
Got it.
Oh my
But
God,
I-
it's the same one.
Oh my God, we're best friends. But you went there and I didn't because
Oh,
you're
okay.
gross and I'm not.
There it is. We've pinpointed why.
Jesus.
Got to it.
So the owners painted the buildings white and even chose a name that suggested cleanliness, White Castle.
Regal.
White Castle was most popular in the American East and Midwest, but its success helped give hamburger meat a better reputation nationwide. So, like cars, White Castle played an important part in the development of fast food.
Wow.
By the
Finally
late-
getting their due.
Yeah.
Mhm. By the late 1960s, fast food had pretty much saturated the suburbs and began to pop up in more urban areas. And this is from an article in the Smithsonian. Quote, "This had a lot to do with the civil rights era, which is a fascinating sort of intersection in the story. Black-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, they were hoping to create economic bases in city centers where white flight and a lot of other social factors, such as the building of the highways, had divided communities.
Yep.
Fast food was seen by activists and by the government, which would ultimately issue loans to help small businesses open fast food chains as a solution to the problem. The
That's
actual
so interesting.
That is
I thought so
interesting.
too. The actual benefit or attraction of opening a fast food restaurant is self-evident. It's familiar, it's easily reproduced, and it's popular and relatively cheap.
Mhm.
Its profit margins are higher than a lot of other businesses, particularly grocery stores.
Mm.
Oh, interesting.
So this kind of created a perfect soup of all of these competing factors that united to help spread fast food within urban centers, and that's where they took off. And that is also why there are food deserts in the areas where they are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it did have long-standing negative effects, but
Yep.
they did start from the suburbs and come into the cities.
Mhm.
So if you're wondering what the least healthy fast food chains might be,
Okay.
What could they be?
I can't wait to know about the most healthy fast food chains.
Oh.
If they're not on this list, they're healthy.
What a
That's what
low
I'm
bar.
saying.
okay,
If
great.
they're not on this list, they're healthy.
What do you think is on this list? What do you think is number one on this list?
Of least healthy?
Least
Least
healthy or
healthy.
most healthy?
Of least healthy, I'd say McDonald's.
Where's their like nacho cheese? Taco Bell.
Mm.
Okay. Those are okay. All right.
Oh, well, I feel like judgmental, all right, but okay.
I mean,
Apparently
I
we're
had
But okay, all right,
Taco
no, it's fine,
Bell
don't worry
for
about it.
lunch today, but whatever.
I know.
I'm hoping
I'm
Taco Bell's
still-
not on the list because that's the one that I pretend is healthy. So
So we're
that's
gonna-
the one that I have delivered to me by Uber Eats when I'm high and sad
Mhm.
or high and happy.
Or happy.
Or
or
sad.
happy or
sad,
sad
or-
or high
Alive.
if I'm breathing.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 10. This is the top 10. Number 10, coming in at number 10. Burger King.
Okay, so Burger King
Is
is
the most healthy
No.
Of-
of this list.
well,
of
of
this
this list, yeah.
of
Okay, yeah.
Burger King is the most healthy of the list of the 10 least healthy fast
Yes.
food chains.
That just made my
Correct.
brain pretzel.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But I
And-
think we do get money from Burger King by saying that.
I
now,
think we
right?
do.
Mhm.
By the way, I think this is just like a summation of all of the calories and
Yeah.
trans fat and saturated fat and blah 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 on their whole menu.
Yep.
Okay.
Number
And
9
Salt. That's the
Salt's the real killer, yeah.
and sugar. There's a lot of sugar and like savory things, which is
Yeah.
weird, but whatever.
Mhm.
Number 9 is Checkers. Never been to a
I don't
Checkers.
even know if I've even heard
Yeah,
of
what is
Checkers.
I don't know.
Chubby checkers?
Amanda, maybe on our road trip next week, we'll find out.
Let's look for a Checkers.
Mm.
Amanda and I are driving from New Jersey to Minneapolis And just taking a casual swing down through Louisville.
And we are mapping our entire route by how many Waffle Houses we can go to.
Yes. Also, world's largest
Checkers.
basket.
And now Checkers, yeah. And the world's largest basket, yes.
Oh, okay. Yep. Need that.
Gotta stop for
bet,
the
bet.
basket.
Number 8, we have Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Absolutely hate the way that they spell their name.
Well, and Chick-fil-A hates the gays, so fuck Chick-fil-A.
All of their
Chick-fil-A.
politics are quite actually terrible.
Deplorable, yeah.
And their grammar and spelling. I hate it. Okay. Number 7 actually was surprising to me. Number 7 is Wendy's.
Wow.
I
That
always
makes
thought
me
of Wendy's
sad.
as more of a healthier fast food.
Best
that
nugs.
maybe was true in the past, but as somebody who goes to Wendy's pretty frequently,
A connoisseur, if you will.
I know some things about Wendy's.
Your bowels are
Sir,
letting you know.
this is a Wendy's.
This is a Wendy's.
They're very salty, quite delicious, and there's always an add-on of a Frosty, because if you don't just also get I think that's the main part. It's like, here's an extra like 800
Why not
calories.
ice cream to dip
Exactly.
your chicken nuggets and
Yep.
fries in?
Yep.
Which is the best.
Why are we doing this right now?
I don't know what the fuck we were thinking by
Bill.
not getting it. Bill, go get us Wendy's and Frosties.
Well, when you said Scott was coming over to your house, I assumed you'd have a smorgasbord of all of this food.
Oh, there's a Corey behind you.
It's Dr. Phil.
Out of here!
God.
That scared me. That was an authentic scream.
So scary.
Ray.
Ray, protect us.
Hey, come here.
I got really confused because he showed up in the Skype, and for some reason I was like, "This is a mirror. It's Bill. He's behind us."
I was
Scott,
like,
oh, wait.
there's a vampire.
I thought we were just
It's a
talking about
banshee.
ice cream and you started yelling about Corey. That
Tall man's behind you.
was disgusting.
That was horrific. Corey, you're fired.
Bring her McDonald's as recompense.
And then
I
bring it to
can't.
us.
I had so much Taco Bell for lunch. I can't eat. I'm not eating for the rest of the night. It was too much. Okay, number 6, Jack in the Box.
Wait, so is this getting healthier or less healthy?
Less healthy.
Less healthy. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Jack in the Box also have never been.
I don't think I've ever been either.
I've never been either. Isn't that like a big thing in Canada?
I don't know.
I'm thinking
It's
of
a
Tim Hortons.
horrific mascot. It's like a big
It's so scary. It's a
clown-
ball with a nose and a hat.
Yeah,
I
it's
hate
a
it.
ping pong ball.
I was thinking of Tim Hortons. That's Canadian, but no. Jack in the Box, ew. Next.
Number 5, Arby's. Not surprising. they do have the meat.
I like
and the meat
forget
sweats.
That, I forget that Arby's like exists.
I forget that they exist until I want those curly fries. They do have the best fries.
And horsey
and
sauce.
somebody for Halloween dressed up as the Minneapolis Arby's on fire during the uprising, which was a really amazing
That's
costume.
really good.
I love that.
Memories.
That's a really good costume.
Was
I
it a
love it.
couple's costume with the umbrella man?
I think it might have been
Oh,
actually.
my fucking umbrella man. If you know who he is, turn him in.
Jesus
Anyway,
Christ.
continue.
Okay, number 4, also shocking, Quiznos.
Really?
Interesting.
If you can even call that fast food, because they don't even have drive-thrus usually, I don't think. I've never seen
I
a
don't think
Quiznos
they-
Yeah, but it's
drive-thru.
fast.
Dude, it is.
It's closer to fast casual.
It's closer to like Subway, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
it's
Subway is
nicer
still
than
fast
Subway.
food. Also, Bill just texted me from the other room to let us know that they sell Arby's fries in the freezer section at Target.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, that's only relevant if you have them right now.
Yeah, Bill. Stop giving us information and not fries.
Where's the
Rude.
horsey sauce? If there's
Where
no
is my
horsey
horsey
sauce,
sauce?
I don't want anything to do with it.
Also, I love you. Thank you for that hot tip.
Number 3, Whataburger.
What? I've never been.
What is that?
I
What the
don't-
hell is that?
I always get it mixed up with Wahlburgers, but it's not Wahlburgers.
Oh my God, I super thought it was Wahlburgers until you just said that.
It's not. It's Whataburger. It's different, but
It's never had it.
Burger.
and it's nothing but a burger.
What a burger. Okay, number 2, Carl's
I've never been to
Jr. Is it related to Hardee's?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
Hardee's' child?
They're always connected. It's sort of like those combination Pizza Hut Taco Bells. There's like
Yeah.
always a Hardee's and a Carl's Jr.
There's a connection there.
It's the
Yeah.
same
There's
like
some-
logo.
Maybe they just have been. Maybe they're just owned by the same company now. Same parent company. It's a monopoly, I tell ya.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Monopoly.
I love Monopoly.
I know you
Big
were really
burger.
into McDonald's Monopoly.
I really fucking was. Thank you for seeing
Bring
me
back
fully.
the Monopoly. Honestly, do you remember the pull tabs they used to give out at McDonald's?
No.
There were straight up pull tabs that you like pulled off the lid of your like McMuffin container.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, that was
Monopoly.
Monopoly.
No,
That was McDonald's Monopoly.
It was different. It was different. It was like a pull
I
tab.
think you're having like a Berenstein Bears moment.
No,
I think there's
someone out
both.
there will know. Someone out there
but
will know.
I mean,
Someone.
I know they did that during the Monopoly, where it would come on your thingy and you'd pull it off and see what
it
you
was
want.
like the ASMR of like, zzz, and then like
Correct.
first eating.
We remember.
But this had nothing to do with Monopoly. You didn't collect them. You didn't build a board. It was only an instant win thing, and it was just a straight up pull tab.
well, they
card.
did have instant wins during McDonald's Monopoly, so we may both
yes,
be
we
right
know.
in combining the same thing.
I think I'm right, but we'll wait for the emails to flood in.
And we'll put them in Kenyon's folder because she isn't here.
She'll never listen to this episode. Okay. Coming in at number 1. Any guesses? Any guesses?
Number 1,
Taco Bell.
least healthy. No, I don't think Taco Bell could be the least
Really?
healthy. White Castle?
Oh, we haven't heard White Castle.
What? I'm gonna go. Well, wait, we haven't heard McDonald's
We
yet
haven't heard
either.
McDonald's either.
McDonald's.
Yeah, probably McDonald's. I'm gonna go Taco Bell. I'm gonna go big.
Okay.
Okay, number 1, least healthy fast food restaurant in the U.S. is Sonic.
No.
Oh, I finally went to a Sonic. I'd never been to a Sonic, and they were like, "Here's all these add-ins you can get. You can."
Sonic
I was
is
like,
so gross. And
I
so
want
fun.
a slushie, and it's like, do you want to add 3,000 more calories to this?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, I
This
do.
this
Thank you
makes
very much.
sense.
Yeah, totally.
They wear roller skates, you
Yeah.
guys.
The one I went to, they didn't even have anything open outside. It was very sad. I
That
love
is sad.
living in Minnesota.
God.
It's
Sonic.
desolate.
So
Okay.
a little more info about Sonic. The average Sonic burger, for example, has
Is made of hedgehog.
Oh my god, I wish. It's blue. Has 780 calories, which is roughly 300 calories more than the average burger on a McDonald's menu.
Wow.
And-
Okay. I'm feeling a lot better about my monthly McDonald's run these days. I'm
Monthly?
making good choices.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I don't
10
live really close to one though.
Oh, well, me either.
The thing is, okay, these are the two. That's fair.
proximity has nothing to do with this.
The 2 times I usually go to McDonald's are once. It's so bad, you guys. Once a month when I'm picking up my prescriptions because the Walgreens is right down the
Yep.
street from that Hiawatha
And you
McDonald's.
deserve a treat for being chronically ill.
For being chronically ill, and I double deserve a treat for being chronically ill because I go to that Park Nicollet St. Louis Park endocrinologist, and there's a McDonald's
Right
in
there.
the parking lot
Yeah, it's
No.
there.
of our
I
doctor's
truly,
office.
yes, I do the exact
We
same
don't have the
thing.
same doctor, but we do
Do
go to
we?
the same
No, we don't.
office.
Yeah.
I know exactly what McDonald's you're talking
Oh.
about.
So
Yeah.
basically, when I'm picking up my diabetes medication or going in to be told that my A1C is too high, both times I'm getting
Yep.
McDonald's.
Yep. I truly,
You
it was
need a
like, like,
reward.
I deserve this. This is what I deserve.
They poked me and they made me take my weight. I'm
Ew.
getting McDonald's.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
Anyway,
Also, 10 burgers on the Sonic menu have more than 1,100 calories each.
wow.
The restaurant
Okay.
it's a lot. The restaurant
a lot.
is also among the most likely to have an above average level of trans fat. Nearly half of Sonic meal items have at least 1 gram of trans fat, and some items have as many as 3.5 grams. Whereas most menu items among fast food restaurants in general have 0 trans fat. So,
Interesting.
Because everybody tried to get rid of them at one point.
And also,
Right.
like, what's the difference? There's some kind of fat coming
I
in.
don't know. I'm not a registered
Who cares if she's
dietitian.
trans? We don't
Trans
need to
fats
worry
are
about that.
fats.
Yes.
So, like I said, I do have some psych for us today. Here
Oh,
are
God.
10 psychological tricks that fast food companies use
Here's
to
Scott
get you.
Artley's psychological profile
Oh,
Yes.
oh God.
in fast food language. Okay, sorry. 10
Actually,
psychological tricks.
you are exemplifying at least one of these right now.
I'm very excited.
So this is from Business Insider. Number 1, paint the place red. You're wearing red. I'm gonna eat ya. I'm gonna eat
I
ya.
love this sweatshirt though,
Isn't
with
it
the
fun?
bears on it. It's
It has
so cute.
11 hidden black bears on it.
11?
It's like a.
I
It's
found
like a
them.
Where's Waldo? Oh yeah,
I
you
found
found
them.
them. You found them right away. Like it's kind
You
of
keep
freaky.
going. I'm gonna look at the bears.
Okay. So, color theory isn't the most exact science, but its assertion that red acts as an appetite stimulant seems to hold up. The most popular color for food packaging, red raises blood pressure, heart rate, and people's desire to eat everything in sight, similar to a hibernating bear or about to be hibernating bear.
Yep.
Hence its use in tablecloths and other forms of restaurant decor. Similarly, warm hues like orange, yellow, and pink get the job done as well. Okay.
How many bears are you at right now? 7 bears.
Found the tree bear.
Psychological fact number 2. Smell good, eat more. So given how much of taste is made up of smell, it shouldn't come as much of a surprise that aroma can have a pretty strong influence on what and when we eat. That's why one of a food court restaurant's greatest weapon is its scent. There's no better advertisement or incentive for potential customers to shell out some cash. For example, Cinnabon.
Cinnabon. I was literally going to say that. That was like the one. I went to a mall recently this past weekend. We walked around. We're like, we smell Cinnabon. And we like literally, we were like a
You
cartoon.
smell over a city block away. You can smell
we
it.
could not find, there was no Cinnabon. It was like ghost Cinnabon.
Oh, I don't like that.
Ghost in the Cinnabon.
I gave up after 9 bears,
Okay,
but I
well,
believe you that
I'll
there
point
are
'em
11.
out.
Okay.
There's one right
are-
here. Just kidding. I don't identify as a bear, but I don't really like bear culture, but I will benefit from it.
Are you an otter?
And I do. I'm not any animal. No, you know what I am? I'm a red panda.
A
red
naked
squirrel.
mole rat.
No, I'm a red squirrel.
Cute.
Oh, but you are kind of a red panda. Like you look like
Also
a
red panda. I do really actually look like a red panda.
I love that for you. It's the
Spot
cutest
the
animal in the
difference.
animal
I'm
kingdom.
endangered.
Oh my god, I am in danger.
Endangered.
Red panda, you in danger, girl.
You endangered girl.
Red panda, you endangered girl.
You endangered girl.
It's autumn sunrise.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Also, we need to watch Ghost.
Do I have merch now?
You might. Anyway,
You like it? It's autumn sunrise. Okay. Number 3, psychological trick number 3, food porn. Because pictures speak louder than words, and showing a burger or drink or whatever does more to sell than just a name on a menu board. Of course,
that's why there's pictures on the thing, right? On the ordering. Okay. And probably why all of their fucking advertising is like sexy slow-mos of like a drippy, hot
cheesy, flame broiled.
I'm actually Bill.
I'm going to Postmates us a bunch of Taco Bell.
Okay, thank you.
Nice.
On the company card.
Of course,
It's for work.
Oh, I didn't know I could charge my lunch.
No, well,
I don't have the company card connected to my Postmates, or our accountant would have sent me to jail a long time ago.
Oh, we have a whole road trip coming up. It's
This
happening.
feels like a valid use of company dollars.
I agree. We can write it off. Continue.
So, of course, that Whopper looks nothing like the one that comes out of the drive-thru window. But, of course, at that point, you've already been sold. It doesn't matter that it looks like total shit once you get it.
True.
Number 4, a 2012 study from Cornell University. Ever heard of it?
Yes, my parents went there.
Found that
I've heard Cornell is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
it's Cornell. Okay.
Ithaca is
A
gorgeous.
big lump of knobs. Okay. Cornell found that the dulcet tones of classical music, smooth jazz, and the like leads to diners sticking around longer and eating less, which means that it's in a restaurant's best interest to blast the music loud and keep the tempo high, ensuring turnover on precious real estate and instilling a sense of urgency, leading patrons to chow down as quickly as possible. Not the best move for customers' waistlines, but it is great for the restaurant's budgets.
Yeah, it's like Katy Perry makes you just want to chomp down and get out.
Absolutely. Okay, number 5, meal deals.
I'm looking at some right now.
I know. A burger, fries, and soda pop combo may cost less than a burger, fries, and pop ordered separately, but it still means more money for the restaurant than an order of just a burger or even a burger and fries. It's the best of both worlds. The customer thinks they've scored a deal while the restaurant moves an extra vending machine's worth of Coke every day.
Whoa. That's a lot.
That
They just
sounds
sell
great.
more product gets out the door, and despite no matter how you package it, they're still making more money and they're still offloading a bunch more products.
That's the one thing about Taco Bell that is upsetting. That while the Baja
Pepsi.
Blast is phenomenal, it is a Pepsi restaurant.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
It bothers
when I'm
me.
going to consume 1 million calories, I'm going to save it on getting some pretend sugar in me that ultimately will still mess up my body.
Yeah.
Mainlining that sweet,
Yep.
sweet fructose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 6, bright lights. Mood lighting may provide ambiance, but fluorescence, or at least full lighting, sends the same grab the food and go message that cranked up high tempo music does.
GTFO.
so
through
for ex-
lights.
So, for example, at Chipotle, everything is like stainless steel and highly reflective, which A, makes it seem cleaner, and B, just bounces more light around. It makes you want to get the fuck out of there sooner. Number 7, keep your options limited, but not too limited. Formulating a fast food menu is something of a Goldilocks game. Too many options and customers are overwhelmed. Too few and they don't feel like there's enough to choose from. So the sweet spot for casual joints, according to a study published by UK's Bournemouth University, is somewhere around 6 items per menu category. Fine dining establishments can go up to about 7 to 10.
Okay.
That was it. When I was at Sonic, I was overwhelmed by the number of choices.
It's too much.
It was too much. So here's where I go to my actual expertise. I was an anthropology major, and one of the people in my department was like famous for studying post Cold War Russia and like the sudden movement into capitalism. And there was this like iconic image of all these old ladies like at the supermarket being like, I don't know what laundry detergent to choose. Like I didn't have choices before, and they just sort of like stare. And I feel like that is capitalism, Mama, where it's like there's actually too many choices.
There it is. Are you just trusting me to order a bunch of Taco Bell?
Yeah,
Okay,
I can't multitask like that right now.
Got it.
Do you want me to tell you my order today if it influences you at all?
Yeah, what did you get?
I got the number 6, which was 2 chicken chalupa supremes and a hard
Supreme,
shell
Abby.
taco. Obviously.
I have
Who
that.
would order a chalupa and not supreme it?
I know. That's just bizarre.
Shouldn't even exist.
No, it really shouldn't.
Also a side of Fiesta potatoes and also an extra chicken quesadilla because those reheat really well.
Oh, good point.
Not that we're really going to need to reheat anything.
Yeah, no.
I know
I
us.
want nachos and cheese. Like I feel like it's such a
Done.
weird
Getting a
classic
Nachos Bel
order.
Grande. I also got a vegetarian Mexican pizza, which is back on the menu.
Wow.
Nice.
Honey,
nice.
I will take good
Yeah, you know what
effing
you're
care
doing.
of you.
I-
This ain't my first radio.
I trust you.
Radio.
Radio. Nachos Bel Grande ad.
I love it. Our whole relationship is just repeating radio and like weird things that we said, and then
Yep.
other people just send you money for
Are
doing it
forced-
now, which
yeah.
is so wild.
You're
Wild to me.
welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, trick number 8, descriptions. For every kind of food, there's a whole set of cliched adjectives to describe it. So coffees are aromatic, beef sizzles, ice cream is rich. Including some descriptive copy adds extra appeal to a dish, and ethnic-sounding names can bring an aura of authenticity. So when you go to Chipotle, for example, you want like barbacoa or something like that.
Yep.
And you don't really know what it is, maybe, but you're like, oh yeah, that is authentic. It must
I'll
be
have the
fresh.
barbacoa.
Babakwa.
Babasoa. Okay, number 9, same dish, different sizes. So this is a form of the bracketing effect, whereby providing 2 different prices for the same item makes the lower price look more affordable by comparison, especially when the higher price for an item is so absurdly large that most people won't order it anyway. So
Okay.
for example, a venti coffee drink at Starbucks, too big. It's too big.
Yeah,
It's not
it is
anything
I
you
get it all the
want.
time. My caffeine addiction knows no bounds. Do you know there's an even larger than a venti? I can't even remember what it's called. I found it online. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Super
Super
Trenti?
venti.
I will have
Trenti.
one. I think it is a Trenti.
I made that up.
I refuse to use the Starbucks.
I know. I was like, I'll have a large.
I know.
always
Yeah.
use small.
And I
medium,
sometimes I
large.
feel like they give me a little wink, like, yeah, you don't buy into this
No.
shit either. I know.
no.
Yeah.
I'm a
I've
cool
ordered
mom.
like a
Yeah,
I've ordered
I'm not
like
a regular man.
like a small or whatever I was ordering, and they're like, do you mean a I don't even know the other sizes. Like, do you mean a venti?
No, I mean a small bitch.
Whatever the smallest one is, I want to get it and get the fuck out of here as soon as possible.
The Katy Perry soundtrack.
Exactly.
Effect.
So these smaller items generally yield more profit. So if people don't order the big ones, it doesn't matter. They're just they're trying to sell the small ones anyway because they're more profitable.
Right.
And number 10, manipulating the menu design. There are a ton of tricks outlined by William Poundstone in his 2010 book, Priceless, The Myth of Fair Value and How to Take Advantage of It. Most of them employ classic visual misdirection, such as placing high-priced items in the top right corner, because that's where the human eye goes to first.
Interesting.
Quote unquote, burying the cheap or less profitable items in the bottom left.
Okay.
So, and also simply making an item bigger or putting a box around it has the power to boost its sales exponentially.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you think it's special, it's limited time, it's like their featured thing.
There
But
is no such thing
there's
as free will,
There's
honey.
just a box around it.
We're boxed in by our own psychology.
We are just tragic meat computers programmed to function.
Meat
and eat
computer.
Fiesta
Poorly.
potatoes.
Oh, I didn't order Fiesta potatoes.
Oh,
They're not that good, honestly.
They're not that good.
I
They're
gotta
really not.
say, my Fiesta potatoes earlier, they had the nacho cheese sauce, and the nacho cheese sauce was a little, shall we say, sour?
Be a bit much. Yeah, it can be a bit much.
Tell me
was
about all of
really-
your regrets.
It was really like stadium style queso. Not
I
great.
kind of like that. I kind of like
Well,
that.
we'll have
though.
some of that on our Nachos Bill Grande. So it's
Okay,
not like you're not
sweet.
going to get any
we have-
stadium style queso.
Do you have an ETA? I need to also take some insulin.
Like a half hour-ish.
Okay, perfect.
Also, speaking of Taco Bell, I brought this out. I wanted to show you my dish of Diablo sauce that I just
sauces.
I keep this in my kitchen because I love Diablo sauce.
Shit.
I have about 30
I fucked
have
up.
about 25 30 packets of Diablo sauce right here.
Wow.
I will never financially recover from this.
Well, that's fair.
Maybe you could call and have them
I
throw
don't
I'll
it
think
see if
back.
I can contact my driver.
do they take call?
They might take a message.
Maybe.
I'll figure this out.
Okay, so do we really want fast food to be healthier? Like what with the plant-based Burger King burger, which I haven't tried, but I'd totally be willing to. There are some like meatless burgers that are delicious.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, people don't respond too well to suggestions of making American fast food any healthier.
Yeah.
So in an interview with Smithsonian, this is what author Adam Chandler had to say.
Not Adam Sandler, Adam Chandler.
Chandler.
Got it.
There have been efforts across the decades to push fast food to change. In the 1990s, Kentucky Fried Chicken shortened its name to KFC because the word fried was actually considered to be a bad word.
Ooh, taboo.
Oh.
So in Adam Sandler's book, he talks with journalist Michael Pollan about him having conversations with some of his what?
We're best friends. I'm best friends with Michael Pollan.
You've heard of Michael Pollan's
No,
work?
I've literally read a book by Michael Pollan.
Oh.
Have you
I
not?
know nothing of Jon Snow.
Oh, Michael Pollan's written a bunch of books about food and production and plant-based diets and things like that.
Never heard of him. Continue.
That tracks with your diet, though.
Sure
so.
does.
He's got a bunch of really good books. Anyway, okay, so talked with Michael Pollan about him having conversations with some of his acolytes and his followers, basically asking them, how would you feel if one day you woke up and McDonald's was all organic, no GMO, and no high fructose corn syrup?
Ew.
And the people responded that they would be disappointed. So there's an emotional component to it, which is that we like fast food to be an indulgence, a treat, a kind of unhealthy, guilty pleasure. A lot of people just don't want the food to change. It's not something that the core fast food consumer is really sweating in a way that you maybe hear about more on the coasts or in certain enclaves where the focus is more on changing dietary habits and improving the food systems. So overall, I don't really want it to change. If you want fast food to be healthier, don't eat fast food.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
I'd
Obviously-
like to have the options for healthier fast food,
For
but
sure.
I probably won't go to them.
And also, like, we are approaching this from a more privileged space because if you are in a food desert where your only option, or like one of your only options, is, say, McDonald's, it would be great to not have to order the same super high fat, super unhealthy shit every time. But
Or if it could be more affordable to eat healthier,
Exactly.
I think that's actually the outcome that would be great.
Yeah, I think what I'm personally more concerned about would be ethics within the production, like supply chain, and kind of going hand in hand with that, reducing single-use plastics. Because for whatever reason, McDonald's, at least my neighborhood McDonald's, has gone from paper cups to all plastic cups with a plastic lid and a plastic straw.
that's insane.
Regardless of size, it's all plastic. It's
Ugh.
weird. Like, paper is more expensive now. I don't know.
Yeah, that seems so counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There are things that I would personally like to see changed, but all organic,
But not the food.
non-GMO.
Don't change the food.
Have you ever drank pop that has no high fructose corn syrup? It's disgusting.
That's plain sparkling water.
Ew, hate
No,
it.
I don't
So,
like it.
yeah.
It's disgusting.
What is this, LaCroix?
Yeah, ish.
Okay, and so here's one last really great anecdote from that same interview.
Okay.
So the creation of Doritos Locos Tacos is my favorite story in the book by Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Mostly because it involves a really terrific person who, in the most relatable way, was sitting on his couch eating Taco Bell and saw a Doritos commercial and thought, that's exactly what I want to have, a Doritos flavored taco shell.
Wow.
Probably high,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say,
But
this sounds
also
like Scott in college.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
even more relatable.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy lobbied Frito-Lay to create the shells, and they said, no, we can't do that. So he started...
Clearly, you fucking can.
Yeah, si se puede.
Yeah.
Si se puede. So he started a Facebook group where he used his Photoshop skills to kind of put together these tableaus of famous pictures with Doritos Locos Taco shells in them.
Brilliant.
A lot of people started paying attention to it, and Taco Bell, which had actually created the idea 20 years before, but had shelved it because of
Shelled it.
Because
Shelled
Frito-Lay
it.
was like, nah.
corporate infighting, whatever that means.
Who knew this
boys
was so
being
poor?
boys.
The boys club.
So Taco Bell was planning to release the product, and okay. And
Coming soon.
and brought this guy along for the journey. It was a really, really fascinating, beautiful story. This is a quote. He lives to see the creation of the product, but dies very shortly thereafter.
Of a heart attack.
From
I don't have any
Doritos
more
Locos Taco.
information.
Face down in a Doritos Locos Taco.
That's how I want to go, though.
1000%.
Like, I want to be having sex while eating Taco Bell.
Ooh.
I love
Maybe
that.
tonight's your night.
I was going to say, make it happen.
I didn't order Doritos Locos though.
Well, now it's not happening.
So tonight's
I guess
not the night where
I
having
live
sex
to
and
live another day.
eating Taco Bell.
I live to eat another Doritos Loco Tacos. Okay. And his friends and family gather for the funeral, presumably, and then they all go out to Taco Bell after the funeral and they get their Doritos Locos Tacos.
Wow. What a beautiful
So
story. What a quintessentially American beautiful story.
I know.
Rest in peace.
Rustin pizza.
Restin
I don't know.
Locos.
I love it.
Anyway, that is my segment. I got a little bit of psych, a little bit of background, some little fun facts.
You got
hit-
everything.
Yeah, you hit all the boxes.
And look, you made us order fast food.
yeah.
Like, it actually worked.
It
That was
worked.
psychological trick number 11.
Ah!
Get your best friends to order fast food on
vulnerable
Postmates.
to advertising.
It's
I
the
love
color
that.
red. It's because Scott wore red.
Yeah, it's your
true.
fault.
That's hungry bears all around.
Great. All right, Scott, are you ready to take on Kenyon's mantle?
And literally never.
Okay, fire away.
I'm really excited. No, I'm excited. This is a fun story.
Is it?
I'm excited.
He
says confidently.
That's my entire life. I am excited to present this because it is a pretty interesting story.
All right.
So, London Greenpeace. No, not that Greenpeace.
Oh, God.
was a small anarchist environmental collective that was formed in 1972.
Okay.
The group is actually unaffiliated with Greenpeace International, which formed actually around the same time. In fact, they were the London Greenpeace was adamant about remaining independent of the larger Greenpeace, which they saw as being too, quote, centralized and mainstream for their tastes.
This is giving me like World Wrestling Federation versus World Wildlife
Yeah.
Fund vibes.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, the WWF
WWF.
had to change to WWE because the World Wildlife Fund was like, you can't call yourselves WWF.
That's
We're
our
more
acronym.
important.
I
Yeah.
don't want to live in this reality
Exactly.
anymore. Okay.
Well, welcome. You're in it. honey.
Add it
Well,
to the
okay.
list of
We are on
realities
the
we
worst
don't
We're
want to
there.
live in.
It is the worst timeline. In this worst timeline, a London postman named Dave Morris had gotten involved with the group in 1978 by joining their protests against nuclear power. And by 1982, he was regularly attending meetings.
Okay.
Greenpeace London's main activity, though, was producing and distributing leaflets.
Oh.
And in 1986, they turned their focus on McDonald's.
So they're like leafleting at McDonald's.
We're going to leaflet.
Okay.
We're not going to leaf, we're going to leaflet.
Okay.
They're
Leaflet
leafleting
and let
at,
go.
They were leafleting at McDonald's or about McDonald's?
They're focused on McDonald's. I think also in front of McDonald's.
So probably about
Both.
McDonald's and at McDonald's.
Both.
within
They're
McDonald's.
targeting McDonald's.
I'm guessing it was only in the bathrooms because that's where you really make the message proliferate.
I like this.
They created a 6-page leaflet titled "What's Wrong with McDonald's?"
I'm sorry,
Everything.
That's barely a leaflet. That's a book. That's a small book.
Well, get ready. This is literally a whole book about that. What's wrong with McDonald's? Everything they don't want you to know. The leaflet accused the fast food company of a wide array of wrongdoings, including exploiting children with advertising, promoting an unhealthy diet, exploiting workers, cruelty to animals, and contributing significantly to ongoing damage to the environment.
Okay, I mean, they're not wrong.
Where's the
They're
lie?
super
Right.
not wrong.
They distributed several hundred copies of this leaflet outside the McDonald's in London's Strand. I assume Strand is a neighborhood. London upon Strand.
Great.
That's where, Will Shakespeare's from.
It's somewhere so X amount of miles from Peniston.
Strandford
Exactly.
upon Avon.
Got it.
So numerous members of London's Greenpeace were involved with producing and distributing the leaflets, including Dave Morris and 21-year-old Helen Steele. Sounds like
Classic
a comic book
Helen.
character.
A comic book character or like
Environmental activist.
or pornographic star.
That's such a boring name for
Helen
porn.
Steele.
Helen Buns
Helen,
Steele.
a porn star named Helen.
I like it. It
I-
taps into a more wholesome demographic.
Your granny
She's
fetish.
the
It is. It taps
the
into
por-
my granny fetish.
the porn star that launched 1,000 ships.
Exactly.
Helen of Steel.
Helen of Steel.
So Helen of Steel was a gardener and bartender who had only recently joined the group.
A gartender.
She's a bartender.
a guard.
New life goal. The group was also involved with multiple other causes, but it was the McDonald's leaflets that would set off a chain of events far beyond what the group could have initially imagined.
The leaflet.
The leaflet! At first, McDonald's response to the leaflet campaign seemed subdued, especially for a company that was known for taking legal action against anyone and everyone who criticized them. In fact, McDonald's had hired 2 firms of private investigators to infiltrate London Greenpeace and find out how the group operated and, most importantly, who was responsible for the production and distribution of the leaflet.
The leaflet.
But her leaflets. Also, leaflet is the cutest word in the English language.
Silly.
I love it.
Also, hoglets.
Hoglets.
Oh, I just listened to that episode.
Are
Sometimes I
hoglets
listen.
not the cutest thing?
I love that.
I love it too.
It's what I'm now
Sometimes
looking
I
for in a
listen.
boyfriend.
Sometimes you have to wrap a hoglet in a leaflet to make sure it is warm enough to survive the night.
Stays warm.
I don't know why it went so dark.
to simulate
endearing.
its mother's warmth.
We must reproduce the mother's warmth by wrapping the hoglet in the leaflet. I'm just going to keep drinking. You
Let's
keep
please
going.
stop. Okay, anyway. So they hired private investigators to find out who's doing this leaflet. Because London Greenpeace was just a loosely organized collective, not an official entity of any kind, McDonald's could not sue them as a group, meaning that they would need to bring legal action against specific individuals.
Oh.
They'd make it personal.
Okay.
So in total, there were 7 McDonald's spies infiltrated by the group. McDonald's spy. Can you imagine?
Tell me you have too much money without telling me
I
you
know,
have too much money.
right?
They're all
19
wearing clown wigs,
Oh, yeah, they'll never
big
know.
red shoes. You guys like
The smell of French fries.
fast?
Yeah,
Do you guys smell that? It's like French fries. No, don't worry about it.
it's fine.
So there were 7 McDonald's spies. That's what I'm going to be for Halloween next year.
7 McDonald's
7
spies.
McDonald's spies.
7 McDonald's spies for 7 brothers.
And a
McDonald's.
partridge in a pear tree.
Done.
Okay. So 7 spies infiltrated the group. They attended meetings, got fully involved in activities, which included distributing these anti-McDonald's leaflets, and eventually compiled a list of names and addresses to give to the higher-ups in the company. In 1990, McDonald's sued 5 members of London Greenpeace for libel.
Ooh,
The
they
company-
caught him.
They got him for libel. The company demanded that the members retract all claims in the leaflet
The leaflet.
and apologize or face going to court in order to prove the allegations were true.
Okay.
3 of the activists decided to just take the first option. They denounced their involvement with the leaflets and apologized like
Like people.
wussies.
Yeah.
They denounced
Oh, okay.
involvement
Wussies.
and apologized. Okay.
They denounced their involvement and apologized and
I'm
probably
sorry you feel like I was involved in this, but I wasn't. And have a great day.
they probably
There, did it.
they probably got some fries out of it though, which like I would
Dumb.
Worth it.
launch 1,000 ships into my McDonald's drive-thru. But the other 2, so there are 2 other ones, David Morris and Helen Steele, decided they would not back down without a fight.
And they won't back down.
I knew that was going to come. This is like partially why I went into this
Hey, baby.
I don't know why I like got a southern accent all of a sudden.
There ain't no leaflet way out.
All right, so one
Super
source described
size it, baby.
shit. I love
Size it, baby.
one
There
source
ain't no
described.
easy way out of my pants.
When I got here, Amanda's like,
You'll have to cut 'em
I don't
off."
have my button done.
My pants are completely open.
Oh,
she like
Close-up
leans
shopping.
over. Oh, close up shopping.
I
Close up
put
top.
on some sweat pants. These are barely. It's like a loose skirt.
I wore jeans today like an idiot.
I'm
Ew.
wearing the dude version of jeggings right
I know,
now.
you were smart.
I know these
haven't
things
worn
stretch
jeans in
quite a
2
bit.
years.
I haven't
like
either.
my jeans,
jeggings,
but it got to be a bit much. Anyway,
You
back
work
to our
from
regular
home. Why are you
programming.
wearing jeans?
I had a lot of errands to run today. I voted today.
Oh, nice.
Woo, go vote.
So I had to I felt like I needed to put on real pants to vote.
Yeah, you got to represent.
But you don't. For those of you who need to vote,
You're right,
You
you
don't
don't.
have to wear real pants.
No.
You don't need to wear
I actually don't. Is there a dress code for voting?
Nope. Well,
Of course
there's
not.
no dress
Can you
code.
vote naked?
Well, there's no dress
Wow.
code for voting, although you are not allowed to wear politically affiliated
Oh, you can't
outfits.
wear
Like,
like
you
a
can't-
candidate's shirt. or
Exactly. You
whatever.
can't go in with a candidate shirt. You could wear it with a sweatshirt over it, but you can't campaign at the polls.
But can I vote naked?
No, because that's illegal to be out.
Absentee ballot.
You
Oh,
could-
that's
yes,
a good point.
there you
Okay,
go.
thank you. The loophole.
absentee.
There it is.
There it
There
is.
it is.
That's what I did.
The loophole, the nude loophole.
The nude loophole. All right, so McDonald's at the time was raking in 30 billion a year in worldwide sales.
Dang.
Helen Steele, just in comparison, was making about 65 pounds a week, working part-time in a bar, and David Morris had lost his job as a postman and was the sole caretaker of his 4-year-old son.
Oh.
Yikes, we're not rich people.
No.
In the years immediately preceding this case, McDonald's had threatened to sue more than 50 organizations for libel, including television news channels and several major publications. All of these organizations had apologized and settled rather than face trial.
Okay.
Big McDonald's. Big rat.
Big dong. No.
Big dong.
Big clown.
Big dong.
I don't know. I'm not well.
Big clown.
Big clown. Oh, how dare you.
Big clown.
As was policy for libel cases, Morris and Steele were not eligible for any legal aid, which I think is wild. And so when the case finally went to trial in 1993, they were responsible on their almost non-existent budget for proving in court that each disparaging statement made in the leaflet was substantially true. So they had to prove that it was true. What was in the leaflet was true. They had to prove that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They did receive donations from sympathetic members of the public, so they raised about £40,000 toward their legal expenses.
Because it's not that bad. That's
Also,
pretty good.
pretty good.
But not going to be enough to stand up to Big Donald.
Well, exactly.
Big clown.
Big clown.
They were up against McDonald's seemingly limitless legal budget and lawyers who were noted experts in libel law. So
Got
not
it.
fair.
Yeah, that's a big team
Right.
with a lot of money behind it.
Some. I think I read this somewhere in the notes that somebody said it was David and Helen against Goliath.
Goliath. That's cute. That's cute. Yuck.
In its libel allegation, McDonald's had asserted that all claims made in the leaflet were false. And because of the way British libel law worked, they did not need to do anything to prove this assertion. Rather, it fell on Morris, Steele, and their pro bono lawyers to prove in court that their claims were substantially true.
It seems a little dumb that one side has to prove truth, but the other side kind of doesn't.
Yeah, just plausible deniability.
Yeah, Big Clown can just be like, that's not true.
Mhm.
Bye. We win.
Yep.
Also,
And they
all
have,
of
like,
these things that I assume they were arguing had to do with abuse of employees and
Sure.
animal ethics and all this shit.
Right.
They surely kept deeply buried.
I was going to say stuff they could pay to silence.
Right. Well, and at the point, I mean, this is before you could call a witness virtually or whatever,
Yep.
right? So they wanted to call witnesses from South America to defend the claims that McDonald's business practices were harming the continent's rainforest. But this was outside of the scope of what they could do on their budget, right?
Yeah, they're
So,
no, we're not going to pay for that.
we're up against fucking McDonald's. Oh my God, our Taco Bell has arrived.
Speaking of being up against McDonald's, there's a huge sack of Taco Bell here.
A
I'm
greasy
gonna do my-
sack.
I'm gonna do my best to
Great.
keep going, and we're
Keep
gonna
going.
enjoy it. Well,
Thanks, Bill.
thanks, Bill.
We love you, honey.
Reminder that this is an audio medium.
Yeah.
So,
It is.
So listen to this
smack
bag
away. Yeah.
God.
Oh yeah.
I hear the greasy sack.
This is that psychology in practice. This is audio food porn.
Yeah,
right now.
it's
Pull off that
ASMR.
sticker.
It's huge on TikTok.
So, okay, the case became a legal and media circus. The initial trial ran for 2.5 years, which included about 40,000 pages of documentary evidence and 130 witnesses.
Wow.
I know,
That is
130.
involved.
Steele would later describe in an interview how the trial came to entirely dominate her life. She said, quote, "When all you are doing is handing out leaflets in tall order,
The leaflets.
it's a tall order to then have to become experts. It was a full-time job around the clock. We got home from court. We had to prepare for the next day. If I had known what was involved, I'm not sure that I would have gone ahead." I was going to do that in a British accent, but I got really distracted by all the Taco Bell. And my only British accent is the, Bridget Jones's Diary one, so it's not that great anyway. Anyway, but things were not going great for McDonald's either.
Uh-oh.
Despite their massive financial advantage, the main effect of the trial so far had been a huge increase in negative media coverage and public awareness of the accusations in the leaflets.
The leaflets.
The leaflets worked. Leaflets
leaflets
work,
worked.
people.
Okay.
Riots work.
Yes. Activism, baby.
Make it happen. By 1995, they were ready to settle and put the whole episode behind them. At this point, it had been 10 years since London Greenpeace had distributed the leaflets. McDonald's offered to drop the case and donate a sum of money to the charity of Morris and Steele's choosing if the pair would stop criticizing McDonald's publicly.
Okay.
In the meeting, which was secretly recorded by Morris and Steele, McDonald's emphasized that they could continue to criticize the company privately to friends, but must cease speaking to the media or distributing leaflets.
Leaflets.
Steele and Morris wrote a letter responding to the settlement
A
offer.
letter is not a leaflet.
Correct. A house is not a home.
Got it.
A letter's not a
Without
leaflet.
a leaflet.
Steele and Morris wrote a letter, not a leaflet, responding to the settlement offer in which they said they would agree to these terms if, quote, McDonald's ceased advertising its products and instead only recommended the restaurant privately to friends.
They used their own.
Clap back.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Take that, big clown.
Yep.
Big clown,
Big
suck
clown.
it, big clown.
Finally, in June of 97, the judge in the case delivered his verdict. He ruled largely in favor of McDonald's, finding that the claims in the leaflet that the company was responsible for starvation and deforestation were false and libelous.
Huh.
However, he also found that Steele and Morris had, in fact, proved that several of the leaflet's claims were true,
Uh-oh.
including that McDonald's endangered the health of their workers and customers by, quote, misleading advertising, and that they, quote, exploit children, and that they were, quote, culpably responsible for unnecessary cruelty to animals, and were hospital unionization and paid their workers low wages. So all of that
Yikes.
stuff, yep, that's true.
Oh, dear. Well, I mean,
Wow.
I'm not super shacked, but
So as a partial win, the decision ordered Morris and Steele to pay £60,000 to McDonald's.
okay.
But the pair didn't have that money to pay
Right.
that, and it was a completely insignificant amount of money to the company. And the McDonald's had spent approximately £10 million in legal costs. $10 million.
Oh, my
God.
God.
You can't solve world hunger.
Right.
The entire thing was widely considered a PR disaster for McDonald's. One of the lawyers who represented Morris and Steele pro bono described the case as, quote, an abject lesson in how not to do it. Bringing the case in
What
the early
not to wear.
not to wear. Bringing the case in the early days of the internet meant that many more people came to know what was in the leaflets. The whole thing was madness. And still, it was not over.
But wait,
But wait,
there's more.
Good Lord.
Morris and Steele appealed the verdict, and their appeal went to trial in January of 99. This time, several more arguments were decided in favor of Morris and Steele, and the amount in damages they owed McDonald's was reduced by £20,000. But still, the two activists were not done fighting.
That's
They
back
eventually
to the
took-
stew.
Just, you have enough fast food, just keep going.
we
Keep
printed
going.
so many leaflets. We have to finish handing them out. We still have leaflets to hand out.
We're way over
Leaflets.
budget in our printing
Yep.
of the leaflets.
We blew our budget on the leaflets.
They eventually took their case to the European Court of Human Rights, arguing that their right to legal aid had been unjustly denied and that their ineligibility for this help simply because their case was a libel case had violated their right to freedom of expression and a fair trial. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
In 2005, the European Court of Human Rights ruled in their favor and ordered the UK government to pay Steele and Morris £57,000 in compensation.
And we graduated
Oh.
That's true, we
What?
did in 2005.
in 2005.
Oh.
In the ruling also graduated us.
Yeah.
In the ruling, the European Court of Human Rights criticized the ways in which the UK libel laws, quote, failed to protect the public right to criticize corporations whose business practices affect people's lives and the environment.
That's a good point.
I
'Cause
agree.
It's like we're silencing the people who are trying to.
the whistleblowers.
Yeah.
They ruled that the trial had been biased from the start because of the defendant's comparative lack of resources.
Yep.
Yeah.
Structural shit matters, people. Thank you. So when all was said and done, the McLibel case,
Ooh,
as it
McLibel.
became known, was the longest running trial in English legal history.
Wow.
It eventually led in part to a change in UK libel laws. So the Defamation Act of 2013 established a new threshold for, quote, serious harm that need to be met for a case to be heard.
Okay.
So one of Steele and Morris's lawyers in the original trial stated, after this act was passed, that under these changes, the McLibel case could have been immediately tossed out because the burden would have fallen on McDonald's to show that the leaflets had caused them significant financial harm, rather than the activists to prove the claims were true.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Way more sense.
That does make more
Way
sense because
more
they have the
fucking
resources to actually carry that out.
Right. The lawyer said, quote, in the modern era, handing out around 60 leaflets outside one store wouldn't cause serious harm.
No.
Especially against Big Clown.
Right. Big
Right.
clown.
I do love, though, that like this ended up blowing up in their face because they're
Yes.
like, these 60 leaflets, and it actually made them look awful.
Really bad.
Really
yeah.
fucking
It's kind
petty.
of like what is it? Barbara Streisand syndrome. It's
Oh.
like we're trying to shut it down so hard that it actually blows
Makes it
up in your
bigger.
face and makes it
Yeah.
bigger. Yeah.
What's the Barbara Streisand thing?
There was like a photo or something of her or like an interview of her that she was not pleased with, and she's
like, you have to bury it.
Yeah,
and
I'm
the
sure
more she said you have to bury it,
there's
the
a
more
ton
everyone
of-
was like, we're not burying
exactly.
this.
There's like a ton of theater gays that are yelling at me right now for getting this wrong, but it's like, yeah, she wanted it expunged from essentially public eye.
Okay.
And then all that did was shine a brighter light on this thing and make her look bad. And now that's become known as Barbra Streisand syndrome.
Got it. Okay.
I love it.
It's great.
So just to wrap things up, in the years since the McLibel case, the story has continued to develop because it never stops.
Right.
Most recently, it was revealed that 2 members of London Greenpeace who had been involved in the initial creation of the leaflet were actually undercover police officers who had infiltrated the group.
Whoa.
One of these officers, a man named John Dennis, was
John Penis.
It's
Ginus.
was Helen Steele's partner for 2 years.
Whoa.
They had even moved in together, discussed having children together. She was entirely unaware of his true motive.
That he was
I
a
don't-
cop on Big Clown's side.
Exactly.
I don't love that Helen Steele was sleeping with a cop. Did she even know he was a cop at all?
She
I
was
have no
unaware of his
idea.
true motives.
His true motive.
She didn't know that he worked for Big Clown, but I think she might have known he was a cop. Unless he said he had a totally different job.
He's like pictures of him as a cop. He's like, no, that's when I was a stripper.
For Halloween.
Yeah,
All right,
maybe
so
he was
around-
so deep undercover that he
Maybe.
dated her specifically to get under Big Greenpeace.
No. Hate
Maybe
that.
Small Greenpeace.
he forgot who he actually was, and actually they found love in a hopeless place.
Maybe
Everything's a simulation.
what is
backroom.
identity in the first place?
Right.
What if?
Regardless,
Maybe.
so this guy did disappear without a trace, though, and Steele later described how she spent years searching for him before discovering that he'd been using a fake identity taken from, are you ready for it, a child.
Oh my god.
What? This is so unhinged.
Hashtag not all cops, though, right?
Wow.
Hashtag every
Literally
single
all cops.
cop.
Yeah.
Yes, all cops wear no-shows.
In 2015,
Ew.
Steele,
Oh my god,
along with
that's our new hashtag.
You know that
Yes,
all cops, wear
no-shows.
no-shows. All cops leave no-shows on during sex.
Ew.
Yes, all cops leave no-show socks on during sex. We have to make that trend.
Ever. Make it
Hate
trend.
that.
Make it trend.
My nether regions are closed for business now.
Yeah, and you
permanently.
also know it's super true.
Absolutely.
Just don't fuck a cop. You're fine.
Hi, Ray.
Hi, Bubby.
All right, so 2015, there were several other women who had similar experiences, though they took legal action against the Metropolitan Police. In Steele's words, quote, "We knew that between the 8 of us who sued the Metropolitan Police, there were at least 5 different officers who deceived women, and that the period of relationships was nearly 25 years.
Jesus.
There was obviously a systematic pattern of abuse, either for the officers' own purposes or undermining protest movements."
Look at Ray.
Are you undermining protest movements?
He is a mess. That cat is fucking enormous. Did he just roll off the
He
desk?
tried to climb on my lap, and his back foot slipped off the desk. And then he was just like halfway off and tangled in my cord.
He's so big.
He's
I
so
can't.
big.
I want to, in my next life, I want to be your cat.
Same. Oh my god!
Hit me in the face with his tail, which
That's how
is
you
like
know it was me.
this big around. He's the girthiest tail.
He's got a big tail.
I don't know if you've
She's
seen
thick.
that TikTok video of like a vet who had to shave a cat's tail, and a cat's shaven tail is just exactly what you would picture in your worst nightmare.
Ew.
His tail would be this fucking big
No.
around.
No.
Ugh.
No.
You're disgusting.
Girthy.
No. Okay,
Girthy.
Scott.
I hate it.
All right, let me just wrap this up. So, Metropolitan Police were awful, etc. But still, Steele is best
No
known
shows.
for her involvement in the landmark McLibel case. According to The Guardian, quote, "In the years since the London Greenpeace leaflets were first handed out, the debates about industrial food and corporations have grown enormously. The epic McLibel trial, it can now be seen, acted as a commentary on globalization and helped to expose many of the dubious practices of giant corporations. That no other company has considered taking activists like the McLibel to the libel courts in the past decade suggests that they have struck a genuine blow for freedom.
Wow.
And that's my case.
Wow.
Good job.
Leaflets and no-shows.
Leaflets!
I love it.
I honestly
need to
thought
eat
that
it.
that case would be exceedingly dry and boring, but it actually was
fun.
not. It was
I'm
a
going to
ride.
say it was my delivery. I'm going to say it was 1,000% my delivery.
It was
Speaking of-
definitely
But
a delivery.
also, these notes were really excellent that I did not write. So thank you to the
Speaking
the
of
note writer.
delivery, I apparently did not complete the order, so the chalupa pack that I ordered is not here. That's on me. But there's some other fun stuff here. I know. I really fucked up. You trusted me, and I betrayed your trust.
Scott and I are making the same face.
I betrayed your trust.
A
I'm
chalupas is the
making
best
sure-
part.
I'm
I know.
really upset about this.
I know. I'm upset about it.
Okay, but there
too.
are Cinnabon.
There are Cinnabon, and there's a
There's so
Mexican
many of
pizza,
them.
and there's Nachos Bel Grande. We will make this work. We'll make do. Are you ready for my case? We have Taco Bell. No, we're not, but we're going to do it.
I'm gonna get nacho cheese all over this microphone.
Please do. I never use these.
Again, this is an audio medium.
And also video for many Patreon supporters. Okay. My case is dark.
Oh, good. I'm glad my stomach is full now.
I went to the dark side
Good.
of the moon. So buckle up. Paul Dennis Reed Jr. was an off fella.
Oh no.
Born in Richland Hills, Texas on November 12th, which is also my sister's birthday. He's a Scorpio. But he was born in 1957, not 1980. We won't tell how my sister's birth year.
1980.
Mostly 1980.
80.
It's not 1980, but she is turning 40 this year. You do the math.
I
Too hard.
literally
That's
can't
too
do
hard.
the math.
Happy 40th birthday, Ashley. This might come out around her 40th birthday. Whatever.
Happy
I love
birthday,
you.
Asherle.
Happy birthday. Bye. So, not a ton is known about his childhood, but what we do know is that he was one of several children to his parents, Paul Sr. and Janie? Something. Joni. Paul Sr. and Joni got divorced when he was young, and the children were split up between like parents and also grandparents. So Paul Jr. and his sister were sent to live with his paternal grandmother. So his dad's mom took them. I'm fine.
Just like I can hear every burp.
I know. Paul
It's his
Jr.
it's his mom.
Grandparents' mom. Paul Jr. was clearly very affected by this break in the family and exhibited disturbing behavior that his grandmother could not handle. He was bullying other children. He was abusing animals.
Uh-oh.
He was stealing and fucking with neighbors' property.
Bunch of
And-
red flags.
Yep. And a bourbon again. And his outbursts were getting so severe that a priest at the church they all went to recommended his grandmother send him to boarding school, though I don't believe she did. He built an exhaustive juvenile record, mostly for breaking and entering and robbery, and there are rumors that he attempted to sexually abuse his sister, though I couldn't fully substantiate that claim. But this guy's like not a good dude, so I don't feel like I need to really protect him.
We've got a good picture of a not
Yeah.
good dude.
It's not great. By 1984, so he's 27, Paul Jr. earned himself a 30-year prison sentence for a series of armed robberies at local restaurants. While behind bars, he exhibited behavior that leaves us to wonder about his mental health, including paranoia and conspiracy theories about government mind control and implanted devices. So, like, it does suggest
And
the
stolen
possibility.
elections.
Yeah. It just suggests the possibility of schizophrenia or,
Yeah.
at the very least, something's not quite right.
Okay.
But as far as I could find, he didn't receive an official diagnosis. And not even spoiler alert, when he goes to trial later, he has like a ton of appeals, and not in a single one of his appeals is he ever deemed unfit to stand trial, or that his mental health can affect like the outcome of his sentencing.
Okay.
So, and he was assessed after his arrest by multiple psychologists. So, and I think he even said in an interview later that like he faked a lot of his mental health stuff to try and avoid accountability.
Sure.
So it's
So it's-
already really tricky to evaluate his
It is.
mental standing at that
Because
point.
like he's clearly not well, but he's also kind of full of shit. So
Yeah.
it's like, what do we believe and what do we not?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So the fact that he didn't get an official diagnosis isn't surprising considering the time. It's the 80s, whatever. But he was considered dangerous. So apparently being a white man outweighs that designation of
Oh,
being
yeah.
a danger to society.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
yeah.
No, but yeah.
But yeah, no. So he was paroled in 1990 after serving only about 7 years of his 30-year sentence.
I don't get like that happens a lot.
I
right?
know. And I don't know. I have mixed feelings
I do
about
too,
it,
yeah.
but it's really hard to see a case like this one where he was let out after kind of fucking around and like sort of faking mental health stuff, and then he does some really bad shit. So I don't know. It's tough.
We have retrospect, but also
But we have retrospect and the evaluations that he received while behind bars, albeit in the 80s, said he was a danger to society.
Right.
And then he was released after 7 years. So it's
Right.
like, what is it? Is he a danger to society or is he eligible for parole? Like,
Yeah,
it can't
which
fucking be
one?
both. Right.
Yeah.
So after his release, he got a job as a truck driver and spent most of his time between Texas and Oklahoma. This job was short-lived, however, because Paul got into a pretty bad accident while driving the truck, which led to a fairly robust workers' compensation settlement. He took that as a sign to follow his newest dream, which reminds me of
Big dream.
Big dream. Michael Scott being like, this is a dream that I have had since lunch and I am not giving up on it. Like that line is like, that came into my head when I read this. So he decided, I'm going to become a country music sensation.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's
And there is
something
a
you just
photo-
decide to be.
To be fair, out of all the possible sensations to become,
A country music sensation is
Not
probably
too
the
far
most
off.
achievable. Yeah. And there is a picture of him on the drive with not one, but 2 guitars that will
I'm
be
sorry.
on the blog.
This
You know
man,
what?
he looks.
he does look like he could be a country music sensation.
He does. He put on the costume and
Is that a small hat or a big hat?
I think that's in the world of gallon hats. I think that's a small hat.
Am I allowed to make fun of his appearance? Because
Absolutely. Absolutely you are. He's a monster.
Yet another specimen that looks like it was melted in the microwave.
Yeah, it's not great, and you're gonna laugh even harder when you find out how he ended up looking like that. So
It's not great.
the early 90s were peak for the likes of Garth Brooks and Keith Urban, and Paul was convinced that he had a sound as solid as like the great Hank Williams. So
Right.
we've also got some self-aggrandizing happening here. And did I try and find YouTube videos
I was going to say.
of his demos? Yes. Do they exist online as far as I could find? No.
Oh,
I tried. I failed.
you did your due diligence
did my-
as a serious journalist.
I did. I am. Yep. That is.
As a Pulitzer Prize reading journalist.
Let me remind everyone, as we often do, that we are not journalists. But anyway, so he bought a guitar, or as this photo would show, 2 guitars, bought himself some plastic surgery to make himself look more appealing to
Didn't
become
work.
a country music star.
Didn't work.
Did not work, and made his way to Nashville, Tennessee, with the hopes of breaking onto the scene. Spoiler alert, he would not break onto the scene. Instead, he got a job as a dishwasher at a like southern restaurant chain called Shoney's. For what I could find, it's sort of like an Applebee's, but it's like only in the South.
Maybe it's like
Shoney's.
Sahani's.
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 I think it's Shoney's, but it's Sahani's. Working in one of their Nashville locations. Things went okay there for a while until an outburst in 1997 got him fired when he threw a plate at a fellow employee.
Oh.
This, yeah.
Which I worked at a restaurant once, and a manager got really upset and
Has to
threw.
do theater?
I will not name names, but
know.
a manager got really upset and threw a plate against the wall, and it was the most like it's already such a chaotic environment.
Well, right.
So for something like that to happen, it just like it's emblazoned in my senses.
But also throwing a
Really?
plate against the wall and throwing a plate like at a colleague's head
No, yeah, there's
are
there's
different
a
things.
difference And yeah.
But I have also, from many years in the restaurant industry, have experienced outbursts very similar to that. And it is a really chaotic wrench to throw in an already chaotic situation.
I have worked in a lot of restaurants, and I've never had anybody throw. I can't even think of the most chaotic thing that anybody's like done in my presence. Not throw anything.
It sounds like it's time for you to get back into the restaurant business.
Oh, we had a really coked out manager one time who came in and was like, it was like her night off, and shit absolutely hit the fan, and there was no manager on duty. So we called her, and she came in, and she seemed to be sort of amped up, if you know what I mean.
Hi.
And then she called everybody into the kitchen and just bitched at everybody for calling her in. And she's like, this is my fucking night off. Like,
you could have not come in then. You could have said no.
Yeah.
But how would you
Anyway.
yeah.
But then how would you get to yell at the entire staff?
Exactly.
Restaurants are their own.
It's chaotic, but also don't throw a plate at anybody's head.
No.
So he gets fired, and this would kick off a series of horrific murders carried out by the disgruntled and disturbed Paul Jr.
Oh, well, this is bigger than a coked out, like yelling at the staff.
It's
moment.
really bad.
Yeah.
And all of the victims are like completely innocent strangers, which makes it that much more fucked up. So on February 16th, 1997, the day after he was fired from Shoney's, Paul walked into a local fast food restaurant called Captain D's. It's like a seafood fast food place, inquiring about a job. When 16-year-old cashier Sarah Jackson and her manager, 25-year-old Steve Hampton, started to chat with him, he instead pulled out a gun and robbed the restaurant. After getting the cash that he wanted, he took Sarah and Steve into the walk-in cooler and executed them.
Oh, my.
Like, get on the ground, shot them.
Back of the head. Oh, my fucking
I mean, you
God.
said this was dark.
Yeah.
But I didn't know this was like Kenyan dark.
Oh, no. With Kenyan Gun, I have
You've both become
She has
darker.
picked up
the
I love
mantle.
that.
really
I do love
risen
that.
to the occasion. It's not
God.
right. I need to heal. I need Kenyan back so I can heal.
Make.
Kenyan, make. So, okay, so it was early in the morning, right before the restaurant opened. So they were the only ones in the store. So there were not, I mean, I guess the only silver lining is that there weren't customers that were also harmed. But Jesus fucking Christ. The only reason the staff had let him into the space was because he said he wanted to fill out a job application so they wouldn't have to serve him any food because the kitchen wasn't even open yet.
Yeah. Their fryers aren't heated up yet.
Nothing's lit. Like the kitchen staff had like not even arrived. This is like front of house, getting everything ready staff.
What, like, was this like 5 a.m?
No, the place opened at 10 and this was around like 8:30 or 9.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
To die at all, to be executed at all, but to do it in the fucking morning?
To die at 9:30 in the morning.
I can't.
I'd be
It's
pissed.
ridiculous.
Extra tragedy.
I
Your
know.
ghost would be forever craving caffeine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'd be very angry.
Hungry ghost.
Hungry ghost.
Hungry ghost.
So after killing Sarah and Steve, he took the surveillance tapes out of the CCTVs in the main office and fled the scene. He used the cash he had stolen to purchase a car. Sarah and Steve's bodies were discovered when another employee arrived to work to find all of the doors locked and chairs still like up on top of the table. So like nothing was open yet. And he's like, what the fuck? This makes no sense. It's 10. I'm here for my shift. It's supposed to be open.
Yeah.
So he went to a nearby business to use the phone to call the restaurant, and there was no answer. This was when he alerted police, and they entered the building to find this horrific scene. The next day, about 12 miles away from the Captain D's, some interesting refuse was found on the side of a highway. The trash included the wallet of Steve Hampton, his ID still left inside, and one of the cards in the wallet, which I saw was a video rental card. Oh, I know. I was like, oh my God.
Only one porno away from a free rental.
One porno
Dang
away. Poor
it.
bastard.
Their punch card.
I know. So it was like his Blockbuster card was left in the wallet and it had a thumbprint on it. So what I'm assuming happened, well, it's the killer's thumbprint. I think he took the cash out of the wallet and was probably going through the wallet to find the credit cards.
I thought it was the person's like to redeem your 10th movie rental. This is your thumbprint. Okay.
No. It was Steve's like Blockbuster card, and police were able to lift a thumbprint
that does
off of the Blockbuster card.
Quite a bit more sense.
Yep, and the ID was still in there, so they were able to know that it was Steve's wallet.
Got it.
So they run this print through whatever measly database they had available to them in 1997.
Pre-APHIS.
Yeah, probably only a local one, to be honest. And it doesn't bring up any matches. So despite the print not being a lead, another part-time manager of the Captain D's recalled speaking to a man the night before the murder who had come in asking about a job. And he was wearing a Shoney's apron and said he wanted a change of work environment. The night manager had recommended he return in the morning to talk to the full-time manager. So can you imagine being that night manager and the
like,
guilt, the survivor's guilt, come back tomorrow morning and then he
Wow.
fucking kills 2 people?
Jesus.
So many people experience tragedy because of this fucking psychopath. So the lead investigators then pulled a bunch of photos of Shoney's employees to see if anyone could identify the attacker from a photo lineup, but I don't think Paul's photograph was included because he'd already been fired by then. So they weren't able to find anybody in this photo lineup of Shoney's employees. So this doesn't bring us a lead at this point.
Yeah.
About a month later, on March 23rd, 27-year-old Ronald Santiago and 3 other employees at an Hermitage, Tennessee McDonald's, including 23-year-old Robert Sewell, 30-year-old Jose Gonzalez, and 17-year-old Andrea Brown, ended their evening shift and closed down the restaurant.
So young.
I know.
Yeah.
I like the additional
Trauma
additional
of-
tragedy of like these folks.
They're children. So many of them
and
are
also
children.
like probably responsible for a big amount of like money in their household, you know? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's fucked up. Santiago unlocked a side door so that everybody could leave. But before they could all leave, they were approached by Paul Jr., who once again had a gun. He led them all back into the restaurant, first to the main office where they were instructed to hand over all of their cash as well as the cash in the safe in the office. He then led them all into a dry storage room where he ordered them to the floor and started executing the employees one by one.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah. When he
Ugh.
got to Jose Gonzalez, his gun misfired, allowing Jose to, in an act of incredible bravery that I can't even imagine, get up from the floor and attack Paul. Paul then reached for his knife and stabbed Jose 17 times. Jose dropped to the ground and played dead until Paul left the premises.
Played dead?
Played dead. He was alive.
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
Jose then used the last bit of strength he had to crawl back to the office and call 911. When police and paramedics arrived, he was alive but unresponsive. Another person, Andrea, young 17-year-old Andrea, was also alive but unresponsive. Like she was breathing, but yeah. The other 2 employees were pronounced dead at the scene, and Andrea Brown was put on life support but did not make it through the night. But Jose did.
Oh, thank goodness.
God.
Once again, this crime scene is pretty damn clean. There are no fingerprints in the building that were belonging to anybody other than employees. No surveillance tapes; those had been taken. Over $2,000 in cash was missing, and they all they really had to go on were the shell casings that allowed them to identify the murder weapon as a Remington 25 caliber automatic. Investigators immediately believed this attack to be connected to the attack at Captain D's because the MO is like exactly the same. By some miracle, Jose Gonzalez was beginning to recover from his injuries and was able to provide a description of his attacker that a composite sketch could be built off of. The investigation continued, but this certainly wasn't enough information for a slam dunk resolution. And unfortunately, Paul Jr. was still out there and preparing to strike a 3rd location.
No.
Oh, yeah. So on April 23rd, 1997, in Clarksville, Tennessee, 21-year-old Angela Holmes and 16-year-old Michelle Mace were locking up after their evening shift at Baskin Robbins ice cream shop.
This is
It's so bad.
like, again, young people, and it's like police officers get paid money because they're in the line of duty and could get hurt, but like actually teachers are in this situation.
Yes.
Like fucking Baskin Robbins people. You know,
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
literally there is no excuse for anyone to be getting paid under what is an actual living wage because we're all putting ourselves in the line of duty in every moment.
Literally just existing in public puts you in the line of fucking duty.
And
in our
not to say like
especially-
being in more danger means
Right.
anything.
But if you're young and vulnerable, you're working with cash.
You're
You know,
in the
it's just-
United States where fucking
Yep.
every motherfucker
Everybody has
has an
guns.
automatic rifle.
Exactly. It's
Yep.
just it's yes, you're making a completely spot on point. It's just really fucking senseless. So after letting the last guest out of the store, they were confronted by Paul, who was once again armed. He robbed the girls in the store, but this time, instead of executing them at the scene, he forced them into his car and drove away. When Michelle's brother arrived to pick her up from work that night, he found the store empty and the safe open and immediately called the police, who came to assess the scene. This time, they were able to lift a few fingerprints as well as shoe prints, but the employees were still nowhere to be found. That is until the next evening when an unsuspecting man walking his dog in nearby Dunbar Cave State Park was pulled by his pet in the direction of a lake in the park. What the dog was alerting him to was the body of a young woman, hands bound behind her back, wearing a Baskin Robbins apron.
Oh, can you even?
Can't.
No.
Another reason I won't get a dog.
Right.
I didn't need another one, but there it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll never go to Baskin Robbins. It upsets my stomach.
Oh, I love Baskin Robbins. I don't know if these girls were sexually assaulted. I didn't see anything to that effect. But I tend to wonder why kidnap from the only location where this is the only place he went to where there were only two young female employees.
It would be easy to take them.
Correct. So I don't know, and I don't want to like disgrace their memory by making any kind of assumption, but it does make you wonder why them? Why, like, obviously his behavior is escalating, but like, why kidnap them and take them to a remote location if you didn't have a motive to do something else with these girls before you killed them? So I don't know, but like that, I can't get that out of my head.
Well, yeah, that's it's horrific no matter what, but
No matter
just
what.
that added thing, especially for their families.
I'm hoping
the idea.
I'm hoping that
awful.
that's not what happened.
Yeah, the danger of taking somebody elsewhere, like what would outweigh that? danger?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is like the urge or the desire. So the woman found in the lake was identified as Angela Holmes, and Michelle Mace was found in the woods about 100 yards away. Rather than being shot execution style, as the previous victims had been, the girls had been bound, stabbed multiple times, and their throats were slit, which, as we know from doing this show, is a much more intimate way to kill someone.
Yeah, there's fury there.
Yep. So it's unfucking speakably grotesque and violent. So the pattern of fast food slayings was so alarming that police planted undercover officers and unmarked patrols at locations all around Nashville. But it's like, how we don't have enough staff to put undercover agents in every fucking fast food place in the late 90s in Nashville, a huge city, and he's not going back to the same, not even the same place, but the same like restaurant chain twice. Like, it seems really random. We don't fucking know where he's going to go, but they're just kind of doing their best to figure it out, or at least give like the false impression of we're trying something. So cops were posing as employees and maintaining surveillance over as many locations as they could, and things were quiet for several weeks. It's possible that Paul knew that these restaurants were too risky to try again, because like all of Nashville is in a fucking chokehold about this. Like, it's all over the news.
Can you imagine like having
the
to open
terror.
your Baskin Robbins the next day and
Fuck
be like,
no.
why would I have staff? You know,
for at this time in the 90s, you're making what, $1.75 an hour?
Yeah.
And there's a fucking madman on the loose in your
you
city.
want your pistachio ice cream? Like I
Targeting
Close
fast
that
food.
shit down.
Fuck no. I would be furious.
How have we not all walked out? Why did the great like leave or
I
whatever
know.
it's called not happen ages ago?
I know, because you know that
Probably did.
know
We
that
just
these
come
fucking-
back so fast because the economy
Right.
is so fucked.
Well, and you know that these restaurants like weren't closing or really taking any additional precaution to protect their employees other than like welcoming other undercover police into their premises, which I don't know. So it's a fucking mess.
Or like we'll have our janitor walk you to your car at the end of the night.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not exactly
So-
the concern given this guy's MO.
Exactly.
For real.
So he was quiet. He wasn't like going into any of these restaurants, but he was not done carrying out his bullshit. So on June 1st, 1997, 45-year-old Mitchell Roberts was enjoying an evening at home with his family. Mitchell was a manager at Shoney's restaurant in Nashville, the very Shoney's that Paul Jr. had been fired from months prior. And I think it was Mitchell who was the manager who had to actively fire him. So when the doorbell rang that night, Mitchell was surprised to open his door to Paul, who was asking for his job back. Probably because he's like, well, they're watching every fucking fast food location. I can't keep robbing them and killing people. I better get a job. So
So he shows up at
Mitchell-
this guy's house.
he showed up at this man's house, the man who had fired him. Mitchell informed him that he was not eligible for rehire because of his violent outburst and offered to walk him back to his car when Paul pulled his gun on him and took a set of handcuffs out of his pocket. He instructed Mitchell to put them on and get into his car. Mitchell refused, running back to his home, followed by Paul, who rather than using his gun, and I don't really know why, maybe he was like out of bullets, maybe the gun was just more for show, or maybe he didn't want to be too loud because he's in a neighborhood and he thought that like if someone hears a gunshot, they're going to call 911. That's my guess, but I'm not really sure. But he doesn't use his gun. He takes out his knife and he attacks Mitchell. Mitchell fought back.
Yeah, if he's close enough to use his knife.
Yep. Yeah, he's probably. I think
makes
it
more
was
sense to
probably
me.
I think it was probably a sound thing. He didn't want to
and
be
also
detected.
that like the crime of intimacy thing. If he knows him,
Yep. And yeah, he had used the knife on the girls. It's like his behavior's escalating.
he might
There's a
wanna-
lot of factors there.
Have that.
Exactly. So he attacked Mitchell, but Mitchell fought back and wrestled himself back inside the door and shut the door between himself and Paul. And his wife and his child were home, so he screamed for his wife to grab his gun. But Mitchell and the family don't own a gun. He was just like, go get my gun to try and scare Paul away, which worked. So Paul ran to his car
Quick
and
thinking.
left in his car. I know, right?
Yeah, I would not have thought.
I would
that.
no.
I'd be like, go get my cat.
Well, I'd be like, call 911, but it's like their response time, someone could break in and kill you. And, so like, go get my gun is actually seemingly way more effective, immediate. That was very quick thinking on Mitchell's part and it paid off. So Paul leaves in his car. Mitchell then calls the police who came to his residence to get his statement. While he was like sitting down with police, identifying Paul and describing what he was wearing, what vehicle he was driving, all of that, the phone rings at Mitchell's house and he answers the phone and it's fucking Paul calling him allegedly to apologize for his behavior.
Oh my
And
God.
I know. So this Paul is like losing his mind.
Grasping at everything.
Yeah. And the investigators that were there are quietly like catching on to the fact that this is Paul, and they're like encouraging Mitchell to invite him back to the house to clear things up and clear the air so that they can arrest him.
Wow.
So he does. Mitchell is like, why don't you come back? Let's talk it over. Let's see if we can figure this out. Paul comes back and he gets arrested.
I can't believe that worked.
I know.
I
mean,
can't
it also shows like how disconnected Paul is from
Exactly.
reality at this point.
Exactly.
It's just like, and that's not to absolve his behavior because millions and millions and millions and millions of people struggle with mental health, severe mental health every single day and don't do shit like this.
We order Taco Bell instead.
We order Taco Bell instead. But something is like is not firing properly.
Yeah, yeah.
So Paul was arrested when he arrived back at Mitchell's house and was charged with aggravated assault and attempted kidnapping because these charges were severe enough that he couldn't be released right away on bail. So this like buys investigators time to confirm what was at this point suspected, and that's that Paul was the fast food killer as he had been deemed in the press.
Jesus.
They took his booking photo along with 300 other potential suspects to Jose Gonzalez, who had survived and was still like recovering. And I don't know if he was home or in the hospital. This was like over a month after he had been attacked, but like he was severely injured. So his recovery road was long. So they brought all these photos to Jose and they were like, can you pick your attacker out of all of these photos? And out of the 300-ish photos he saw, he was able to definitively identify Paul Jr. as his attacker. Yep. Jeez. So eyewitness accounts are obviously not enough. So this was corroborated by the fingerprint found on the card in deceased Steve Hampton's wallet, because now Paul was arrested for this aggravated assault. He's booked. They get his fingerprints and they're able to match it to the one that was on Steve Hampton's video card. It's like, how the fuck would you have even gotten this? So that puts him at least at the scene.
Bada bing.
Bada bing.
And also bada boom.
Both. Yep. So this,
both of those.
Both bing and boom. So this is enough to get a warrant to search Paul's home and vehicle. They found multiple like milk jugs with over $1,000 in change in them, which is consistent with the currency that was stolen from the fast food restaurants. He stole thousands of dollars from these restaurants, but a lot of it was in coins.
Milk jugs. Oh, in coins.
Yep.
Okay, I was like, weird. What?
Sorry,
Why?
like coin change, like quarters and
Milk
nickels and
jug.
shit.
Oh,
yeah,
coins.
milk
Yeah.
jugs.
Milk jugs.
Yeah. Explain the jugs.
Can you tell us about your jugs?
Tell me
the jugs.
about your jugs.
Tell me more
So,
about
They
the
find
jugs.
all these jugs, and that matches the kind of money that he was taking from these restaurants. They also found sneakers with traces of blood on them that, like, we didn't have super advanced DNA testing at that
That'll
time.
do it.
We could confirm that it was human, and we could confirm whether it was like male or female at that time, but we couldn't get like a full DNA profile. But
Could tell if it was a vampire or not.
exactly. Exactly.
Not a vampire.
Yeah, but later
Hot
forensic
dog,
DNA.
not a hot dog.
Correct. They were also able to find forensic DNA that could be matched to the two girls kidnapped and killed from the Baskin Robbins. I don't know what that forensic DNA was. Again, I feel like some of the details are intentionally vague so as not to further like traumatize the families by talking about what happened. And several of these victims were minors, so they wouldn't even release that in the press if a minor is sexually assaulted. Like they just don't really go there. So in a major forensic files moment, fucking red fibers from Paul's car.
Maroon fibers.
Because of course he drives like a maroon Ford something or other.
Do you think they stopped making cars with red interiors for this specific reason? Because
I
everyone was
haven't
like
seen one in a long time.
They
I hope
hearing
not.
about it on
fucking
Forensic
should.
Files.
They super fucking should. So they found these red fibers that were from Paul's car that matched red fibers found on Michelle and Angela. And these are the only two victims who had been kidnapped. So, like, we know they were in his car. We've got our guy.
Scott, you know we're going to start a cover band called Maroon Fiber.
The maroon fibers. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
We'll sing about
Just like-
leaflets and leaflets only.
She will be leafleted.
She will be leafleted. So Paul Reed Jr. was convicted on 7 counts of first-degree murder, receiving death sentences for all of his convictions. Because, honey, we are in Tennessee. They are not fucking around. Though he was set to be executed in April of 1999, his execution was stayed several times over the course of many years, including once in 2003 at the very last minute, like literally an hour before they're walking him to his fate. His
Did
execution
he
was
already
stayed.
have his last meal then?
I think you get a lot of last meals at that point.
Were
If they
there
stay-
10,000 spoons and all he needed was a knife?
It was a knife. I don't know. It is ironic. So his execution continued to be stayed through 2013 when Paul fell ill in prison and actually died of natural causes on November 1st, 2013 at Nashville General Hospital.
Wow, what a luck.
I know. His cause of death was determined to be a combination of complications due to pneumonia, heart failure, and upper respiratory issues.
Bye.
I'm against the death penalty, but I am not sad at all that he died of natural causes in prison.
I'm against the death penalty, but I'm not against death.
Right. Sometimes death is a mercy. And like in some interviews with the victims' surviving loved ones, I mean, I think they all had similar sentiments. They were like, I'm kind of sad that I didn't get to see him go to the electric chair, basically. I mean, they weren't using the electric chair, but I think it was lethal injection. So, like, I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get that moment of closure, but I am glad that he's fucking gone. And you know what? I am too. This guy's a piece of shit. Sorry you died of pneumonia. Fucking bye. Maybe don't kill 7 people who are just trying to fucking support themselves or their families or like save up for their fucking college fund on literal pennies at a Captain D's in fucking Nashville.
No one's working at Baskin Robbins because they want to do that with their time.
It's just some of the most...
I'm really passionate about ice cream.
I am too.
But I would never work for a place to do just for my passion.
Big cream.
No, they make you like big cream. I would not work for Big Cream. They make you like sing when you get a tip at Goldstone.
No.
It's a problem.
It's disgusting.
It's just really fucking sad. And I don't, the only reason I wish he had lived longer is because I want some fucking answers as to like, why the fuck are you killing all these people you've never met? Like, you could just rob these stores at gunpoint and then fucking leave. Like, why did it escalate immediately? You know, like it was the rate. Yeah, it's just like, so insane.
Really intense homicide, like execution style, tying people up, putting them in the back room, like.
It's fucked up.
To what degree? I just like the violence of fast food and capitalism and our sort of like fast desire for quick, meeting our biological needs, but like exceeding them at the same time. There's just, I mean,
is there a connection?
Not to just like pull my cultural studies degree here.
Let's go.
But I just like fast food crimes. It just feels like there's something quintessentially American about it.
There's
that
like
sort
a
of
neon,
speaks to how empty.
There's like a neon undercurrent under the whole thing, right? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Something's off.
Like,
and you know,
super salty, very bright neon, ultra energized.
The way that bad lighting and fluorescence can affect our mental health too needs to be studied deeper.
Truthfully, yes.
Yeah. I mean, in my initial research, just trying to find a case to cover, there are a lot of articles about why like violent outbursts from guests of fast food restaurants, like there's always shit going down in a fast food restaurant somewhere. Like, you know, every time a bell rings, someone's popping off in a fast food restaurant. There's got to be some like weird correlation study out there that I just skipped to talk about this murderer.
It's the same psychology of making people hungry might be the psychology of making people fucking nuts. You know, like, anyway, I think there's something to be said for that.
Also, just kind of tying this in, we've talked about obviously Waffle House crimes.
Right.
In their open concept and the fact that it just like draws a bunch of really bad behavior for a myriad reasons. But I'm thinking right now of like what's been exacerbated during the pandemic and airport travel, and how when people feel like they're not in control of how quickly they move through the line or like who gets called first or whatever, people get so fucking pissed off.
Right.
And it's
triggered.
It's unbelievable. And I think it's a uniquely American thing that we feel like we're entitled to our autonomy to such a degree that we deserve to get whatever the fuck we want, whenever the fuck we want it. And that's kind of fed, so to speak, by fast food. I want a burger that has 1,200 calories and I want it in less than
6
60
seconds.
60
Yeah.
seconds.
So, and the reason I bring this up is like the case that I covered was like about corporate greed and PR and optics, and yours is about like really sad interpersonal death. But like those are two sides of the same coin.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
so I
It's
think
a
it's important to
microcosm
recognize
of one or the other.
Yeah,
They're both
like-
violent.
exactly like, and the actual violence that's happening to like people in South America whose economies and livelihoods are being destroyed because of McDonald's.
Right.
You know, it's like it's actually also violence. So anyway,
It's all connected, baby. Just your friendly neighborhood wine and crime reminder that capitalism is murdering millions and millions of people. Anyway, that's my case.
love that we got Taco Bell delivered during this episode.
We definitely did.
We annihilated it. Too.
Yay, capitalism.
Well, it's not a black and white issue.
Exactly. There's nuance there.
Of course.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie Evans, and shout out to your gateway gal, Kelly.
Callie.
And thank you for this amazing topic. I feel like we went in deep, and I loved it.
We did go in deep. And special thanks to Scott
Oh, Scott.
for filling in that huge bra of Kenyans. That was a big bra to fill, and you filled it, honey.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I
filled
thought
my
I'd bring
bra.
these tits, and it worked out.
With
You
all
crushed
11 black bears or however many are in there.
Yeah, there's
I'll find them all. I love it.
All
I
right.
love it.
I love you both.
Yeah.
I love
Love you
everybody listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.